I broke my hand recently. I don't want to say how it happened, so to make it sound cool, I will just say I fell from a mountain that is 10,000 meters tall, and after I hit the ground, I was unscratched. Well, almost unscratched. I mean, I did break my hand. Since I don't have X-ray vision, I couldn't see any broken bones. Hence, I did not think anything serious happened to my hand. Well, I did feel a lot of pain, but I thought that my hand was being over-dramatic about it. Sure, it's swollen and it's blue, but it's probably not that serious. But the pain continued on, so I decided to get my hand checked. I went to the doctor who sent me to take an X-ray, and the X-ray specialist sent me to an orthopedist, and the orthopedist sent me to take a CT scan, and the CT scan technician sent me back to the orthopedist. And after reviewing the X-rays and the CT scans together, the orthopedist concluded that I had a broken bone in my hand. In total, I spent 6 hours going back and forth between doctors until they finally concluded that I had a broken hand. So I got a bandage and boom, I had to live with it for the rest of my life. Well, actually, I had to live with it until my hand would get better again. Now, living with a cast was one of the worst things because, honestly, you can't do anything with just one hand. I never really thought about it, but everything I do is with both of my hands. Like I can't crack an egg with one hand, I can't tie my shoes with one hand, I can't even zip my jacket with one hand, and every time I wanted to go to the shower, I had to put a plastic bag over my arm in order to protect the bandages from water. Because if water touches the bandages will crack and won't be able to protect my arm anymore. And man, don't even get me started on the pain. Everything was painful. Everything. Oh, I just bumped into the wall. Well, that was painful. I tried to hold on to something. Well, that was painful. I barely moved my hand. Well, that was painful. I felt that I couldn't really do anything anymore with my broken hand. To be honest with you guys, I got quite gloomy because of my injury. I felt that while everyone out there was going on and living their life, I couldn't even wear my clothes properly. I will just sit in my room waiting for the days to move by to eventually reach the day when my hand is good again. And I thought that night would be my favorite time because I would sleep and time would pass by without me getting irritated. But nope, that did not go as planned. Look, I'm a guy that keeps turning in his bed and I move a lot. But because my hand would hurt when I moved in bed, I would lie in my bed without a single movement. I would sleep like a statue. But even that wouldn't help as I would still wake up in the middle of the night out of the pain in my hand. Also, it was awful when my hand or arm would itch. Like I wanted to scratch my arm so much, but I couldn't because of this stupid cast was on my arm. So I tried to be patient about it. And every time my arm would itch, I would do my best to wait it out. One thing I could luckily do was to draw on my tablet. So I was doing that all the time. I mean, it was still difficult, but hey, it helped me to keep my sanity. Also, luckily I had my family by my side, so when I couldn't do something I would usually do with both of my hands, I would just ask them to help me. Hey, can you open this bottle of water for me? Can you make a sandwich for me? Can you carry me upstairs? One good thing that I got out of breaking my hand was that it gave me an excuse to avoid all work. Like I did no snow shoveling even though there was a ton of snow outside our house. My brothers did the snow shoveling instead of me. Also, since my hand was broken, I always had a good excuse to not go to the gym. So each time my dad will tell me, "Shouldn't you go to the gym to exercise?" I will be all like, "Yeah, sure, but not right now. I will do it after my hand heals." Yeah, right. Well, my hand is good now and I have no excuse if my dad tells me to go to the gym. Thinking about it, in those 2 months my hand was injured. I did not really have anything to do. The only thing I had to do in those 2 months was to go on weekly visits to take an X-ray scan to see how my hand bone is healing up. And this is going to be off topic, but the X-ray specialist was like, "You don't need to fear X-ray, it's not that dangerous." Anyway, I'm going to stand all the way over here. Like he made me doubt my own safety. and then the x-ray images would go over to the orthopedist who would look through them to see how my hand was doing. And something cool that I got to see during my visits was different types of images of my hand. Like here's an x-ray of my hand, here's a CT scan of my hand, and probably my favorite image of them all, here is a 3D model of my hand. So yeah, that was cool. I got so happy when I took off my bandages, like I could finally go back to normal again. Look, I even drew these pictures right after I took the bandages off. And I was like, yeah, I'm never ever putting bandages on ever again in my life. Oh, so I had to put this temporary bandage on. Luckily, I could take it on and off whenever I wanted, which was amazing. And if I'm completely honest with you guys, I almost had it always off my hand. I'm glad that my hand became good again. I know that because of situations like war, people could lose a hand and live with only one hand for the rest of their lives. And thinking about it made me realize how lucky I am that it did not get so bad for me. Now, after this mostly horrible experience, I have become very fond of my hands. So right now, I have to say that I am a bit scared of breaking my hand again. But I will be more careful about it, so I don't think it will happen ever again. Ow! So yeah, that's my story of how I broke my hand. You know, every time I went to the doctor to check my hand and how it was doing, I would often spend hours in the waiting room. Like, what's the doctor doing? Is he taking a break? Is he sleeping? Why do I have to wait for so long? Honestly, that just irritated me. Anyway, did any of you guys break your hand? Share down below, that will be interesting to read. And as always, take care.